Tonight, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, has justified his claims that no Ghanaian president has ever worked as effectively as President Akufo-Addo. The comment initially made at his official unveiling has generated heated public discussions, but the Menchia South MP is not backing down.
The Asantehene Otumfuo said to the second, advising Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. The Menchia South legislator shortly mounted the podium at the Jubilee Park to deliver his very first address as Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's running mate. It was not without controversy. He forcefully stated that no president had worked harder than Nana Addo Akufo-Addo.
Messi since 1957. Bekane mo famo Kwame Nkrumah no mo famo Obia di wa ba di mampanya wa boga na ho ban e di Ghana konanim che Nana Addo Akufo-Addo.
This comment has been criticized. Here are the views of some Ghanaians.
I think he could have said something better than this. And I feel with what he has said, with the first impression he has given Ghanaians, is going to give Ghanaians some doubts.
I don't really call it arrogant. I call it disrespect to Ghanaians.
On the platform, he even said that it's not even good.
How can you compare Nana Addo, NPP government, to Kwame Nkrumah? It doesn't make sense at all.
Political marketing strategist Professor Kobe Mensah says the comment was unnecessary.
It is unfortunate that, the eminent, king would give you an advice and say that you were trained in this palace and that's not who you are, and just some few minutes actually prove him wrong. I think it's very, very unfortunate. He had actually disrespected the king.
But Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, barely 24 hours later, has repeated the comment. He maintains politicians are hailed for peddling falsehoods and that he simply told the truth.
They have misinterpreted what I said. I said since 1957, no government has worked more than Nana Akufo-Addo. In our politics, if you speak the truth, they say you are ungrateful. If you tell lies, you are praised. I am your child. You did not train me to be untruthful or a coward.
It is unclear whether this will put the matter to rest.
As you may be aware, this matter has generated a lot of discussions on social media, especially on Twitter last night. Let's do some further analysis on this. Let's bring in Wing Commander, retired Patrick Sogbojo, his chairperson, Independent Committee of the Convention People's Party, that's the CPP. Thank you very much, sir, for your time and for joining us here on News 360. Your party had earlier issued a statement asking for an apology from Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. As you just heard, he has absolutely no intentions of backing down on this path. What's your own take on this?
What can be the seen on what we wrote to you? Exactly our first view about the statement is very important. Very important. They're very important. Any Ghanaian about the age of this age, 21, to have seen back from my day. All the things you are mentioning are things predictable. Even the college where he went to focus on, for example, his father of my living school. I knew him from Guinea. He went to take Kumasi Banukuma University. Who built the university? I don't want a stronger independent issue. But Kwame Nkrumah was acclaimed as the man of the millennium, not from Ghana alone, the whole world. I saw what he did politically, economically, and socially. Now let's see how to do the argument. And I come down with that say, Kwame Nkrumah, it's a mean so.
But you don't expect everybody to think the same way. I mean, those are his views.
I have not
He
said
thinks that his president, Nana Addo has performed far better than Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. You should allow him to express his views. Those are his
who
views.
has said his truth? We are saying that it was uncultured. That's what we are saying.
Why is it uncultured? Why is it uncultured?
We are not holding. You can't take the horse to the river and force him to drink. I'm saying we are conversing people's parties are displayed. But nobody is saying that he didn't have the right to speak his mind. Period.
So you've asked him to apologize.
You have the right to ask him to apologize for disgracing our former president. That's what we did, and that's the way we felt about it.
Well, he doesn't think so. He doesn't think so at all. He thinks that he was only speaking the truth.
If he doesn't think so, the onus is upon him. It's only CPP who is complaining. The whole country is complaining. It's only CPP. Nkrumah belongs to Ghana, not only CPP. And you have some, recommendations or what you call from all alongside. The people calling and giving their opinion are not CPP members. It's the general cry that he did not speak well, and that's acceptable.
Are you satisfied with the fact that after 24 hours, since he made this, in your estimation, unfortunate speech, the New Patriotic Party... Just take it easy, sir. Just listen to the question. I'm asking you whether you are disappointed that 24 hours after he made the speech, the party he belongs to, the New Patriotic Party, hasn't issued a statement on this matter.
Well, you see, the CPP is not holding the party MPP to any task. We are holding the one who made a statement. If the MPP decides they don't want to answer, so much it be. But we are taking the one who spoke. It wasn't MPP official statement. I hope I'm wrong, guys.
Very well. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And the race for who replaces Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as parliamentary candidate for Menchia South has begun after a rigorous vetting exercise. With just 4 days left for the primaries, each of the 4 aspirants is convinced of victory based on early engagement with delegates. Ibrahim Abubakar observed the vetting process and reports.
5 persons picked forms to contest for the Menchia South parliamentary primaries, but only 4 people submitted their forms by the close of Tuesday. All 4 aspirants vetted on Wednesday were cleared to contest in the July 14 primaries to elect who represent the MPP in the constituency on the parliamentary ballot in the December 7 election. After the ballot, Nana Addo Prempeh picked number 1. Followed by Nana Bafo Ejewia, Akosiko Kajambibi, and James Owusu-Boakye picked number 3 and 4 respectively. Amidst cheering from their supporters, each of the aspirants is hopeful of winning.
It's a family in terms of MPP family, and I'm a true royal of the MPP family. That is why I'm putting myself up for this contest. So I don't think there's any issue with that. The delegates will make that determination come Sunday. I think among the people contesting, I've worked with them longer than any. So I expect them to reward me.
No threat among my co-contestants. I am working towards victory, and that is all that I'm aiming at. I see no stone, I see no obstacle, no one is an obstacle. I'm just working towards victory, and that's it.
They're telling me the chances are bright. They're telling me the chances are brighter. I should pursue and go on. Sunday will be a victory for James.
The aspirants have been entreated to conduct their campaigns in a decorous manner.
We don't want a situation when somebody will even go and make a statement. We have very short time to even deal with conflict resolution. So we needed to take all the precautions to ensure that we come through this process in a very peaceful manner.
In this game, only one person can win. Therefore, but one can win. So they have promised us that they are going to support the one who will win to campaign.
On July 14, which is this coming Sunday, the delegates will go to the poll and decide. The party hierarchy wants a unanimous support to whoever is elected to represent the MPP on the parliamentary ballot for Menchia South. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Menchia, Ashanti region.
A reminder, still watching News 360. This is our major news bulletin for the day. Let's return to our earlier story, our big story for the day, about the NPP running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, insisting that he's not going to apologize for the statement he made yesterday, saying that he was only speaking the truth. We're joined right now by Fifi Boafo, who is spokesperson for Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. He joins us live on the phone lines. Thank you, Fifi, for your time. You've been quoted as saying that Dr. Prempeh did not mean to disrespect Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, but again, we've heard him basically repeating what he said earlier. Was that important at all?
Well, what he said was, he said two different things. So if it based everything on one thing, probably you may be getting it wrong. Dr. Prempeh said that his statement or the interpretation has been put to the statement he made is not exactly what he meant. However, when it comes to the issue of the performance of the Akufo-Addo administration, it defends the position that the Akufo-Addo administration has performed better than any other government. I think that the narrative out there is that he disrespected our former president and our first president. He's saying, or he's explaining, that what he said, he did not in any way mean to disrespect our first president. He was only making a comparison between the performance of the Akufo-Addo administration against all other governments we have experienced since 1957. And that should not in any way be interpreted to mean that he is disrespecting our first president. Yes, our first president is revered. The effort he put in building our country and gaining democracy, independence for our country is respected. But he is saying that by talking about the performance of this government, does not in any way mean that he is disrespecting him. So for those who say that, well, how it came out meant that he was disrespecting him, that was not the intention, and what he communicated probably did not come out so well. And the point is that we have no intention of disrespecting him.
I hear you, Fifi, but if you listen to the condemnation after his speech yesterday, one would say that it cuts across various facets of society. I mean, there are people who necessarily do not belong to any political party. There are people within the CPP. I've heard someone like Abdul Malik Kwekubako today say that it was really needless for him to have sought to compare Dr. Nana Addo Akufo-Addo to the first president. Did you think, as spokesperson for the vice presidential candidate, the running mate, do you think that he had to necessarily mention the name of the first president?
Well, Dr. Prempeh was making a comparison. His whole conversation or statement was about the performance of the Akufo-Addo administration. Yes, people are very sentimental and emotionally attached to the name of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and we are believing that, you know what, there's no point in mentioning it. But the whole argument or the point he was making was not centered on Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The point was a comparison between the NPP and the NDC. But of course, he proceeded further as a way of amplifying the argument by saying that even Nkrumah, who we all hold in very high esteem, in terms of delivery, and let me be specific, in terms of delivery of the government, he feels that, well, Akufo-Addo government has done better. Actually,
Fifi, some would say that all you're seeking to do is to control the damage, and that's why you're putting a spin on all this.
I am not putting a spin on this, but you called me because you believe that I've had a conversation with the person. I understand the basis of the statement he made. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm explaining the point to you. It is not to spin what he said. But if you watch the video carefully, you will realize that just after making that statement, he paused.
And so, Fifi, you find absolutely nothing wrong with the language Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh used yesterday?
Well, I'm sure there's a need for you to follow what I'm saying. Then if you follow me, you appreciate what I'm saying. What I am saying...
No, just give me an answer to that, Fifi. We don't have much time. You're saying that you find absolutely nothing wrong with the language used yesterday.
I've not used these words on your network, have I? I've not. I am saying that Dr. Prempeh made a statement. His statement is that he did not intend disrespecting our former president. His statement rather has to do with a comparison of the performance of the two governments. Of all other governments, not specifically the two governments, i.e. the Nkrumah government and the Akufo-Addo government. But it's not disrespectful to tout the performance of a government which Dr. Prempeh is a member. I have not in any way in this interview said I did not find anything wrong or otherwise. That is not the comment I have made. I am only clarifying the point that, yes, he respects our former president. What he said may not have come out clearly. And it's a statement I am clarifying to you that...
Thank you very much. Fifi Boafo speaks for the running mate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh.
And for many who seek political power in Ghana, one will think proffering solutions that transform the lives of citizens would be the hardest task. But for a people knee-deep in tradition and customs, perception of one's attitude overrides everything, and none matters more than the perception of arrogance. Judith Brown reports.
It is a word that has been bandied about over the past few weeks: arrogance. Over the years, several politicians have suffered the tag of being arrogant. These include, but not limited to, Ursula Owusu, Hannah Tete, Ahom Kalinse, and the president himself, Nana Addo. The latest politician who might have to battle this tag is a running mate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. And since his name came up as a prospective running mate for the party, many, including party bigwigs, questioned his selection, the running theme being his perceived arrogance.
Apiakubi is saying that he is not my preference. I would want somebody who will be open with the people on the ground, who will be able to deliver the votes, and who would also submit to the presidency.
But what does arrogance really mean? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, it is the quality of being unpleasantly proud and behaving as if you are more important than or know more than other people. And according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, arrogance is an attitude of superiority manifested in an overbearing manner or in presumptuous claims or assumptions. But in Ghana, it is more than the dictionary defines it to be. Here are the views of a section of the public.
It's somebody who doesn't listen to anybody's opinion. They think they are better off than everybody.
Yana omakase ahomaso onipa ohu senia ubesi akasa no emma yehu nipa ko a oye.
Irrespective of what many may describe as arrogance, the tag is not showered as birthday candy. For many, the individuals tagged may have shown signs of being arrogant. Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh's statement about President Akufo-Addo's achievement over any leader the country has had is being referenced to prove his arrogance.
A freestyle Ghana from 1957. Yenya president bia wabua Ghana China na Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Messi a freestyle 1957. Bekane mo fa mo Kwame Nkrumah no. Obia di wa abedi mampanya. Wabua Ghana ho ban. Edi Ghana kola nim China na Nana Akufo-Addo.
But lecturer of international media and political and communication analyst Professor Eche Sikanku says such moments may be blunders that do not define if someone is arrogant.
And sometimes it's easy to get carried away. Mm-hmm. So I do think that he tried to make a play, mostly because of the audience that he was speaking to appeal to them in a certain way.
But what does it mean to be arrogant? Dr. Osafo is a psychologist.
A certain internal attitude of, if you like, priding yourself beyond others. In other words, looking down on others. And this might be coming from the way you perceive others in relation to yourself.
And is there an upbringing or exposure that makes someone seem arrogant just because many cannot relate at their level?
That may not be so. It may simply be the way the culture processes or the culture allows, people to label.
Clearly, for people who seek a position of power, it would seem they are held to a higher standard and scrutiny, especially regarding their utterances and behavior. It seems passing the respect test is more important than one has to offer to a people modernizing but deep in certain traditions and customs. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Now, a recent survey by the Department of Statistics and Actuarial Sciences at the University of Ghana predicts a victory for the opposition National Democratic Congress in the December 7 elections. The survey also forecasts the NDC winning a majority of seats in Parliament. Ezekiel Norte, an associate professor in the department, explains that these results are based on an analysis of election data from the 2016 and 2020 general elections.
As Ghana gears up for the 2024 elections, the political atmosphere is charged with anticipation and tension. Election researchers have been on a quest using scientific data to predict who wins and who loses on December 7. For the two main parties, the NDC and NPP, the stakes are high. The NPP is aiming to secure a historic third consecutive term, while the NDC is determined to avoid a third straight defeat. Associate Professor at the Department of Statistics at the University of Ghana, Ezekiel Norte, says the opposition NDC stands a higher chance of winning the polls despite the possibility of a runoff.
Nationally, NDC and NPP are likely to obtain 49.64% and 48.89%. This will throw the election into a second round. However, there's a caveat there. When I add 0.57 to 49.64, NDC's confidence bound crosses the threshold. It means that they could possibly win in the first round.
He expects the NPP to win at least 6 regions, with the NDC tipped to get the most votes in the remaining 10.
It is estimated that NDC is likely to win 10 regions: Western, Western North, Greater Accra, Volta, Oti, Bono East, Savannah, Northern, Upper East, and Upper West. Whereas NPP is estimated to likely win 6 regions, namely Central, Eastern, Ashanti, Ahafo, Bono, and Northeast.
On the parliamentary front, the NDC is tipped to win majority of seats in Parliament.
We are likely to see NDC gathering majority of the seats, 146, against NPP 129.
With the major parties campaigning vigorously, the final result will hinge on voter turnout and preferences on election day. Noble Crosbyan and TV3 News, Accra.
Let's now go to Parliament, where the minority say they cannot understand why government will be asking Parliament to approve $250 million at a time when it is asking its debtors to forgive or postpone the repayment of its debts. Former Majority Leader Osaiche Mensah-Bonsu has justified the loan, noting it is for the Ghana Financial Stability Project.
It actually goes to the heart of almost every problem we have currently as a country. Over borrowing. When we have borrowed up to our neck, we can't pay. We are going around the world begging everybody to forgive us our loans. At the same time, we are borrowing more. We have gone everywhere. China was last week borrowing, telling China that forgive us part of what we borrowed. And then on Wednesday morning, you are borrowing more. How do you solve your borrowing problem by borrowing more? I don't get it. And I'm saying that the finance minister better answer that question. Don't take that responsibility, because it's a dangerous trap for you. In fact, once upon a time, you presented a budget here. That year was better. The year that the finance minister came, things went bad. But they could have made you a finance minister. They refused not to. They refused to make you a finance minister. Don't take up the responsibility of borrowing extra money to, hurt the economy.
$250 million facility is a
financing agreement between the government of Ghana and the IDA, the International Development Association of the World Bank Group. And Speaker, it is for Ghana's financial stability project. Speaker, it's a critical note in the restructuring that government has embarked on. And that agreement, the discussion with the World Bank IMF group, preparatory to where we are today, was really, it was, Mr. Speaker, so it was part of the discourse that we engaged in. So that is what it's supposed to do, to solidify the platform for us.
In other news tonight, the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, CLOGSAG, has for the second time failed to appear before the National Labour Commission. Meanwhile, the NLC has granted additional 1 week to CLOGSAG and government to resolve their grievances.
The leadership of the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, CLOGSAG, was not present at the National Labour Commission, NLC, for the second time. Last week, the leadership of the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, Ghana, CLOGSAG, cited the fact that the NLC is not properly constituted. The government side, led by a representative from the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations, appeared before the Commission on Wednesday, July 10. Daniel Esiedu, who is a lawyer for the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations, impressed on the Commission for an extension of time for government to engage with CLOGSAG.
We're engaging them because we're engaging them. They will come next week. They will come next week.
The Director of Human Resources at Labour Commission, Dr. Benis Welbeck, said the Commission agreed to grant the extension based on the commitment by government to resolve the grievances.
The issue is that the respondent came, that is government, the employer, and said that the matter that is before the Commission, the parties are engaging over it towards settlement. And so that is that.
She again emphasized that the Commission will await for the parties' reports after its engagement.
There are two parties in a dispute, and if they have agreed to talk, and they are talking, and they need time to settle, that I don't think there's anything wrong with it, because after all, at the end result is that there should be settlement.
CLOGSAG is demanding the implementation of its new salary structure agreed on with government.
In more news tonight, Oasis Capital Ghana, a leading growth capital fund manager focused on West Africa, has announced the successful close of its $100 million Oasis Africa Fund 2. The fund has so far secured $33.3 million in capital commitments aimed at supporting small and medium-scale enterprises in Ghana.
This latest fund builds on established impactful track record targeting small and medium enterprises in West Africa, with a particular focus on Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire.
SMEs are globally difficult to finance because of asymmetry of information. There are no significant data that is available. That said, there are also areas where we have successfully navigated by working with genuine ambitious entrepreneurs. And in Ghana, we've backed a number of businesses. Some of them have been successful, some may not have been too successful. But that said, I think the majority of them have been successful, and their success is not only in financial return, but the impact that they have generated.
The success of Oasis African Fund 2 is fueled by a distinguished group of investors who share Oasis Capital's vision for West Africa's future.
We were looking out for a partner that will allow us to be able to go to market with this product. And Oasis Capital actually has the same vision as DBG, which is to support local businesses or SMEs in Ghana.
Oasis Capital Ghana is a licensed growth capital fund manager with a mission to provide innovative investment solutions for high potential SMEs in West Africa. In Ghana, Oasis Capital has invested and supported businesses including Legacy Girls College, Everpure Ghana Water, among others. The firm's vision is to become the preferred partner for both investors and SMEs seeking to unlock the region's vast potentials.
Well, on your screens now is a QR code. So kindly pick your phone and scan the code. It will take you to exclusive WhatsApp channel for 3 News. That's where you'll find everything news from us here on TV3. From our news code cards to videos and details of events as they are happening. It's the 3 News channel on WhatsApp. Do well to scan and follow to get the news as it happens.
Right, we're going to go for a quick break. When we return, we've got the very latest in the world of business.